Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. I will try to not be on here too long, but I'm a little hungry, so I'm gonna throw some things together real quick and then talk to you while at the same time, and I hope that's okay. I got my oven preheated to 350 degrees, and I'm putting a little oil, olive oil, in the bottom of my pan. May seem like kind of an oddball kind of a meal, but I just want a little bit of comfort foods today. And comfort foods for me is like some good hot soup or stew, which I'm gonna do using the multi-pot. And I want to make a small cake because cake is very comforting. But I'm just gonna use a Jiffy Mix. I'm not doing a whole bunch of from scratch stuff except for the stew is gonna be from scratch. Let me wash this stuff off my hands in a minute. Just wanted to jump back on here. I know a couple of days ago I put out the video about the weather advisory and all of that. And I'm sure people are looking kind of cockeyed like, I ain't seeing nothing happening yet. But this was a message that came out from the National Weather Service. And I'm sorry about the glare. I think it's the placement of my lights up on the ceiling, and I can't reach that right now. So I'm sorry. But anyway, the National Weather Service on Monday afternoon towards evening put out a notification about severe weather coming through. And it's not just coming through for my area in Minnesota. It's supposed to be sweeping through about 10 states, which if you watch that video from 2 days ago and January 23rd, you'll see all of that, so you can know what I'm talking about. They said there's going to be some severe weather coming through, some heavy, strong winds, lots of snow. They said it could be anywhere up to 12 inches of snow between these 10 states that they named that are kind of in a row, like you're going to a bowling alley and you're trying to hit the pins. They're all in a row. I'm taking some leftover turkey, the neck, tossing it in there because all that meat that's stuck up around that neck from that turkey that baked, that becomes good meat that's worthwhile, and I don't want it to be wasted. And then I have some little fragments of other stuff that I had been using in sandwiches, but it can all go in there now. As you see, it's there. And since I have some garlic that's minced this way, yes, usually I use this kind of garlic and spend my time chopping it, but I do prefer to use this whenever possible in my water because I drink quite a bit of water and always put a whole lemon and a couple of cloves of garlic in that water because it's good, healthy, heart healthy. So toss in a good bit of garlic. That should be enough for sure. But I also have one more whole onion left, so I'm going to use this whole onion because then that keeps me from having to use the dehydrated stuff. It's good to have the dehydrated stuff in the future for if I need it. If stores are running low. I'm using a tiny little chopping board because this is a really tiny little onion. like I was saying, the Weather Service, National Weather Service for the United States of America has issued that severe weather advisory for 10 states. I gave you all the whole rundown on that a couple of days ago. Some people may think I'm full of baloney because they may not see anything yet. But how many of you know that there's always a calm that comes before a storm? Like, really? Have you ever noticed that? Tornadoes, been around tornadoes or really severe weather and things, and the birds are out singing and everything's wonderful, and then all of a sudden there's nothing, and it's total quiet, and then you get hit. This is the calm. And being that I live in this great state that I'm in, I'm kind of used to the weather dropping off kind of crazy. A lot. People have asked me, why did I move here? Drop that onion on in there. I like it here. I really do. Sorry, my cupboards are a little squeaky. Some little chili peppers. Because of course I like it a little spicy. But yes, I do. I like it here. So, I got a can of peas that I'm going to add. Because this can of peas is very low in sodium. 15 milligrams, that's 1% of your daily recommended value for sodium. Low protein, low potassium, and for someone that's trying to keep a handle on things that relate to a kidney and renal diet, I like the numbers that I see. Gives me more option and more to play with through the day on eating different things. Because if you go high early in the day or for one meal, the oven is preheated. If you go high, then you'll find yourself having some, this is no salt peas, which is wonderful. Having some trouble later in the day. You know, you don't want to overdo it on one end of the day. It's better to keep it low, and then you know how much of a flow that you can have through your day with your meals. I'm adding this whole can because this is about 3 servings, 3.5 servings. And part of this will be not only for tonight, but for lunch tomorrow. So, Weather Service says, prepare. Isn't that what I've been saying for years? Prepare. Get these onions and things out of the way. So, now what? Well, Danette, you said on Monday that the storm was coming through 10 states. Yes, it did. And the National Weather Service in the United States of America said that. And not only does the Weather Service pick that stuff up on the distance in their radar, I pick it up in my body. I'm one of those old school people. When storm is coming, you know, there's either a problem with the bunion or the sciatica, or, you know, people who have bursitis and they start saying, ooh, I'm sore here, I'm sore there. That's why. Because our bodies can pick up those vibrations and those things before we are able to see them. Now today, it is snowing now out there. Lightly. Sorry I'm so noisy. Got to get water to put in there so I can get this stuff going. But yes, I say it's snowing lightly. It's light for Minnesota. Other places may not be used to snow. But for here, yes, it's very light. Don't want to use this stuff because it's extremely high sodium. 48% of the daily recommended value. But I will use the Goya brand because it has no salt added. Take one of these packets. And there's like 20 packets that come in this box. The price is reasonable. It has no calories. It only has 5% of the daily recommended value of sodium. No protein, which I don't need any extra protein because my protein is in the meat. I'm going to add 1 more cup of water. This holds 4 cups. So, I'm bringing that up to 5. And I will start that very shortly. Okay, I'm going to get this on there because as this pressure cooks, the extra juice will flow into this little receptacle on the back of the multi-pot. Now it's on. I do the poultry setting. It'll start. I didn't add any rice or any other stuff in with it. There it goes. Because I didn't feel like I needed all of that with it at this point. Right now, I just want to make a little cake. So like I was saying, you know, the process of what we go through with weather is different in so many places. Here, you know, it can be fine 1 minute, snowing the next. And when it gets cold here, it's unforgivably cold, which is why I keep telling people, dress in layers. Always carry something extra. Carry a Snicker bar or granola or something in your pocket. Peanuts if you're not allergic. Something. I'm going to use one of these expensive eggs that I bought yesterday. Because yes, they were expensive. Like, seriously expensive. So, and this recipe doesn't call for much. I mean, it's a Jiffy cake mix. One egg, half a cup of cold water, and a package of this. Grease the pan, pop it in the oven. Pretty easy. So, the weather is starting to ramp up. And how I know the weather is starting to ramp up, I know it more than just by what I see out the window or when I go outside. I know because I got one of those little alerts for the city that came through my phone today, which tells me that that storm system is changing. Even though most people are sitting around partying, doing whatever they want to do, and not really aware of everything so much, things are changing. That alert that they sent me said that they would like, let me get a half a cup of water, which is basically a splash. They would like for people to start parking only on one side of the street. If you're on a snow emergency route, which in Minnesota we have snow emergency routes to make sure that emergency vehicles can get through the road, and people trying to get from point A to point B have a wider road that's been totally cleared and they can get through. So that's still the same. So they're not treating it like the storm has already hit, but they're treating it like it's on the way. They're telling people to, as of tomorrow evening, which would be Thursday, which would be about the time that the bowling ball starts to go down the lane to hit those 10 states, that everyone should be parked on the odd side of the street on the non-snow emergency routes, which means all these little side streets where, houses are, residential areas. Anyone that's parked on the even side of the street during that time will be ticketed and towed. Tickets are hard enough on the budget, especially today. If you had to spend like what I spent on that dozen of eggs, or 18 pack of eggs, 18 pack. If I'm going to go for it, I might as well go all the way. I got 18. So that means people that were already having a hard time finding a place to park are going to be scrambling to try to get home early enough to get parked so they're in a spot and not worrying about being ticketed and towed or having to park 2 or 3 blocks away from home or around the corner down the street or whatever, walking through the snow and the ice. And for me to say all this, and I'm not trying to badmouth Minnesota, because I really do like Minnesota. I really do. I'm just saying this is how it really is. You have good days and you have challenging days. And you know what? Even though this is like a little jiffy thing, that'll cook for 15, 20 minutes. You know what I really want to do? I think I'm going to add some nuts. Okay. I'm going to add some walnuts to this. Like I said, comfort food. And it's not like I'm going to eat the whole cake by myself in one setting anyway. I'll eat it. Not in one setting though. But if I get up in the morning and the weather sucks and the roads suck and I'm looking out the window thinking, man, I got to be to work at what time? What am I going to do? I'm going to be having me some coffee prepared and in a thermos, putting that in my bag. I'm going to have me a bottle of water prepared in this, in my bag. I'm going to take me some of this leftover cake in my bag. And I might take something else, like granola bar or one of these things, that has like the sun-dried tomato and basil with a wild-caught tuna. It comes with like a little teeny spoon in it. Might take something like that. Or packaged ramen noodles or whatever. But the thing is to be prepared and to have the stuff that you need, so that you're not going through stuff in a miserable way. It's nice, and I have to show you later. But for now, I'm just pouring it on in. This is so simple, I didn't even need to add any milk. I was going to add some coconut milk. But it's good. In the oven. So I hope you're prepared. And even though it may seem like bright, shiny, sunny skies and everything's okay right now, if you're in one of those 10 states that I mentioned a couple of days ago, please be prepared. Please wear an extra jacket or extra sweater or throw on an extra layer, under your pants or your shirt or whatever. Please have a hat, scarf, something on your hands. If you don't have gloves or mittens, take a pair of socks. You can put some socks on your hands, keep your hands warm. Be practical, be wise, be aware, and be prepared. Thank you for joining me. It's going to be a little bit before this is done. But it was good to have that extra neck bone. See, that's what I'm talking about. Save all those pieces. Most people cooking their turkey and stuff, and they're like, throwing that away. No, you don't throw it away. That's food. Throw it in some plastic or foil or something and stick it in your freezer. Take it out later when you need it. There is meat on that bone. And that meat will fall right off of that bone and it'll be really delicious. And with having the onions and the garlic and stuff on there and some peas, that's a meal right there. But thank you for joining me, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. I hope you're doing well, taking care of yourself. I hope that you're prepared. What are you going to do if the lights go out? What are you going to do if you snowed in? What if you're going to do if you're short on funds, short on food, short on support? Go back and check through some of my videos and check out some things, and really let's have a mindset of preparedness. Thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you again very soon.